Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Renee. If you're new, thank you so much for clicking and watching this video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be doing like kind of a story time. I'm going to talk about my high school experience. A lot of influencers, especially like lifestyle influencers that you guys probably watch that are kind of similar to my channel, a lot of them started either in high school, college, and you kind of have watched them grown over time. I started when I graduated college, so you guys probably don't know that much about me in terms of like pre-YouTube. So let's talk about it. I had a really not that great of a high school experience. I was bullied. I feel like a lot of people are bullied, and this is just my story. Before I dive in though, I just want to say thank you to today's sponsor, which is BetterHelp. They partnered up with me in this video. They're really great. They are the largest leading online counseling service, which is perfect for nowadays because we can't really go that many places, and therapy is something that I feel like a lot of people have really needed because of everything that's been going on this year and how rough of a year it's been for all of us. I think online therapy is a great option for people who may not be able to afford it, don't feel comfortable going into actual places just yet. I've done BetterHelp myself before. My experience was amazing. My therapist was great. Like I said, it's super affordable. They actually have a monthly subscription that you get, so you're paying monthly, which is a total game changer in therapy and therapy world, because typically in therapy, like face-to-face therapy, you'll pay per session, which can get extremely pricey. I've done both, and yeah, it's just really pricey. So it's a really cool way that they have been able to give therapy, but also at an affordable price. It's also super convenient because it is online, so you can like get it 24/7. You have tons of therapists that you can match with. They actually have a quiz that you can take online where they use their matching algorithm to match you with the best therapist for whatever problems or needs that you have. So BetterHelp is accessible, it's convenient, and it's also affordable. They do have over 11,000 licensed therapists and counselors, so you're not just getting a robot. You would think because it's online that you're not getting that personalization from therapy, but that's not how it is at all. They are all licensed, they all have their certificates, they all have years of experience, and then you can communicate with them via video call, you can communicate with them via like text messages, chat, and again, it's super accessible because they are available 24/7 and whenever you need them. They are available worldwide, which is also a bonus. They give you guys a discount price if you just go to betterhelp.com/Renee. I'm pretty sure it's 10% off, so yeah, definitely take advantage of that. I feel like therapy is something that everyone should do. I feel like when you go to like a general practitioner, you should also be checking up with your therapist. We take care of our physical bodies, but I think it's really important, and I think we have gathered this year that it's so important that our mental health is also in check. So huge shout out to them for partnering with me for this video. They've been amazing partners in the past, and I really appreciate them a lot. So definitely check them out. Let's go ahead and dive into our high school experience. So, all right. I don't have any notes or anything like that for this. I'm just going to talk about my experience and what I went through. Little backstory: in elementary school and middle school, I had a really rough time, and I was very shy and awkward. I think that's where a lot of like my mental health problems that I work with today have stemmed from, is middle school, and like maybe like 5th grade is when I started getting a little bit bullied per se, and you know how girls can be catty and stuff. So I feel like a lot of people go through like bullying phases. I mean, I say it like this, it's like very serious, but I feel like everyone has a story. Even those girls that you think are like so popular, or the guys that are like on the football team, like the typical like average high schoolers, they all have some sort of internal problem. We all have problems. We all should talk about it because we're like normalizing it, and we can also connect. Especially when you're in school, it can feel very isolating. So if you are in that kind of phase right now, just know that these parts of your life are all temporary. You have to make the most of it. You have to work through it, and a lot of these things will go away, so it's not forever. And that's really hard to understand because you're first of all developing your brain. So like you're a child and you're like, oh my god, this is my life, but also it is your life. Like you literally go to school Monday through Friday for the whole day, so your world right now is school. So it's hard to look beyond that, and we don't have much experience, so we don't really understand the temporary aspect of these feelings and this world that we're living in. So it could be really hard. And I went to school when MySpace was around, Facebook was starting to become a thing, and then Instagram at the end of my high school year. So I grew up with social media, but I also had like the benefit of not having that growing up as a child with that. So I had the best of both worlds, but I'm glad that I didn't have like what today I feel like having social media and how it is right now. I couldn't even imagine going to school like that, because I feel like that's really tough to deal with, because not only are you like in your little world, but you also have the world at like the access of your phone. So I mean, I don't know, but this is my little experience. So 5th grade is like when I first started getting bullied. I had like a little girl have like her little girlfriends like all come up to me and like call me names and isolate me, and I got really close to the teacher. Like I was that student. Got through that, and then I went to middle school, and a lot of my friends in elementary school like just acted like they didn't know me because it's like a new school and who knows what went on during the summer, and I didn't have any friends. I knew one girl. She was like in the more popular crowd, and she was also kind of like a bad girl per se. Like she did like things that you weren't supposed to do as a middle schooler, and I was close with her because we like grew up together. And then also my mom was a working mom and my dad worked as well, so I would always be the student that would be the first at school before school started. So I was in like afternoon programs and before school programs because my mom had to go to work, so I was there with like a couple of kids, and then at the end of the day I would go back to after care program and then be with those kids again while our parents were like working and stuff. So I was at school longer than I feel the average student was. So like it literally was my life. But I was friends with this girl, like I said, who was like in the popular crowd and like kind of bad, if you will, and she would just act like she didn't know me in the regular school hours, but then in the programs like we would be friends, but she would tell me to like walk in front of her, like pretend like I don't know you, and just middle school shit like that. And I roll my eyes, but I feel like sometimes a lot of, like I said, my problems probably stem from that. I think of her now as like a beautiful girl. She has a family and she's like probably an adult, and like everyone changes, everyone grows, so I don't look at her in a bad way. She was a child, but I'm pretty sure like that fucked with my like developmental problems or like issues with people. And I would also wear my hair up like in a big bun and like slicked back because I had curly hair and I didn't know how to style it, and every girl that was like the popular ones had like these really pretty like straight or like glossy hair, and mine was like very, I just didn't know how to style it at the time, so I would just wear it up. And I was like so self-conscious about my hair that I would never wear it down, but then I would go home and straighten it or like play with it and learn how to style it, and I would be so confident. But then when I was around like my classmates and stuff, I would just be like insecure or whatever. And then towards the end of middle school, I ended up becoming super close with one of my girlfriends, and then my friend Chase, who you guys probably know, he's in my videos. And so towards the end of 8th grade, I was kind of getting a little bit of confidence boost, and I started gathering some friends and like good friends who like cared about me. So then going into high school, I was like, this is a new era. I don't really know anyone here. Like half the people from my school went away, so it's a fresh start. And I'm the kind of person that when there's a fresh start, I literally just start new. It like is relieving. I can be myself a little bit more. And so I went into high school, like did my hair, put it down, and that was the first time a lot of people saw my hair down. They're like, oh my god. And I was like, yeah, I don't care, like you can not like it, whatever. I wasn't as shy. I was just very full force, because I also did have a friend that I had been best friends with since I was like a baby coming into the school with me. We didn't go to the same middle school, but she was coming into high school with me, so I had her on top of my other friends that I already knew from middle school, just a few select friends. So I had like that comfort of some friends, you know. And then so I had a really good freshman year. I had a really good sophomore year up until like the halfway point, and that's when my like high school experience started to go down. So basically, like I said, I had the two friends. I had my childhood friend, and then I had my friend from middle school, and they met and they became best friends. And looking back at this, it's very petty and it's like typical high school drama, but again, it like paved my way for I think a lot of like my mental problems, or the way my confidence levels and my trust issues, which obviously add on top of that like my family issues and stuff like that. It all plays a role in who you are. So it sounds super petty and like high schooly, and like talking about it now, it's like, oh my god, like it's nothing now, it's like a speck in my history, but it does pave way for like longer issues in the long run, which is really why it's important to keep your mental health in check and be able to kind of understand why you are a certain way, because it could be a situation that you never think about, or something that you didn't think was as impactful as you might have thought, but it could be an answer as to why you're dealing with certain issues in your future. So it's really important to look back and kind of understand and grasp. And when I did go to therapy, I really did understand a lot of the issues that I'm struggling with now in correlation to my experiences as a child. Okay, so they had become best friends, and obviously like whenever you introduce two friends together and they end up like hanging out behind your back and stuff, it's kind of like, it hurts your heart a little bit, and you're like, okay, well, hello, like I'm the one who introduced you guys, like you guys are my best friends, why are you guys not inviting me to like certain things? But they were also like in a club together. I found out that this one is having a lot of just issues with herself. She would just complain a lot, and I remember like every time that they would hang out, my close childhood friend would tell me, oh, I'm just gonna say close childhood friend and middle school friend. My close childhood friend would like come up to me and tell me, oh, the middle school friend was like talking mad shit about me. She was annoyed by me. She hated being around me, but then she would act like she liked me in my face. So I was just getting annoyed with the whole situation. Not only were they becoming like super close and isolating me, but at the same time, like they were talking mad shit about it. And I feel like this one was almost like enjoying the fact that like every time that she hung out with her, that she had like this crazy story that she would tell about me, about how she didn't like me or whatever. And I was just like so down at that time, and I was dealing a lot with, like I said, some family stuff. So at that point, I just didn't fucking care. I was like, okay, whatever. She was also talking a lot of crap about this one. So it's like whatever she was telling me about her, she was also telling her about me the same thing. Like, so she was like hanging out with us but didn't like us, or like was just a dramist, or I don't know. It was just really super toxic to be around. So at that point I was like, okay, I'm done, like whatever. She's telling me X, Y, and Z about you as well, like just letting you know, but I'm done with her, like I'm not gonna hang out with her anymore. And this one was like super surprised, and she's like, yeah, right. And then I would like show her the text messages and stuff, and I was like, look, she's talking about you, and like the way she's talking about me, she's talking about you like that. And so like we both were kind of shocked, and we were like, what the heck, like why does she even hang out with us? Like she secretly hates us or something. So we ended up calling her and telling her, hey, like we know what's going on, and like the way that you're talking about us is just really unhealthy, and I don't really feel comfortable being around you anymore. Like what's the point of hanging out with me? Like I feel like for her it was more of like a drama thing because she had just met her, but for me it was like, it hurt my soul. Like I was so close with her, and she was like a very, very close friend. I was like super close with both of them, so it was like sisters. And I was like, I can't believe like this whole time it felt like I was just, it was like a one-sided friendship. So it hurt me, like it hurt me a lot. So I was just like depressed, super low, and I told her like I can't do this anymore. At the same point I was kind of like just done with both of them, to be honest. That was like my whole world. I didn't really have that many friends. I wasn't part of a club or a group or anything. I had just my select friends, so it felt very isolating at the time. And then that's when things shifted. I don't know what happened, but that day when we had called her and said, hey, like we know what you're texting and talking about us, the middle school friend had an older sister that was a grade ahead of us who was popular. Even though the middle school friend wasn't that popular, her sister was in an older grade. So I don't know what happened, but they went ham. They thought we had like somehow ganged up on her, and the next day we went to school, like literally everyone was like talking about it. No one knew who I was. Like how are these people like talking about me, first of all? Second of all, I had select friends from middle school that I was still like somewhat okay with, and I would like open up to them about it, but then found out that they were like secretly going to the middle school friend's sister and telling them about it. So I literally was like, okay, everyone's against me. Like I don't fucking care. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm done with this school. When am I gonna freaking graduate? Like I was just at the lowest point. I didn't want to go there, and I just wanted to be by myself. I didn't even want to be with anyone. I was just like, I want to be by myself. I don't want to deal with this. I would call my mom, and she'd pick me up in the middle of the day because I would be like having panic attacks, like all this stuff, and I would like physically get sick before going to school because I would get so uncomfortable. Like I just felt very secluded and isolated. And the reason behind that is because the day after we had called her, the sister, they wrote on Facebook at the time that they were gonna beat us up, and like they were gonna gang up on us and come, and they're gonna put us in our place and stuff like that. I was genuinely afraid. I'm a worrywart, and I'm like not into that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get beat up. Oh my god, this is gonna be so embarrassing. I was like physically sick from thinking about it. And lo and behold, we went to lunch, we all sat at a table, and the middle school friend came up to me, and she has all the school now backed up behind her, even though she had no friends. It was literally just me and her and my childhood friend that were like, the three of us were like best friends. All of a sudden the whole school like knew her because her sister had like told everyone or something, so they all come up. It was like this whole dramatic thing, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. I was like, there was so much going on in my life at the time too that I was just at a breaking point. I was just like, what the am I doing here? I don't want to be in this. Why am I here? I hate high school. I hate my life. Like I was down in the dumps, and they came up to us, and then she looked at me and she was like yelling at me, screaming like this, and everyone was gathering like fight or whatever. And I'm like, what the like, I literally had this realization, like, what is going on? And I looked at her in her eyes and I said, listen, we both need to stop talking about each other and just like let this go. Like, I was trying to be the bigger person, me, all the time. So stupid, because I never stand up for myself. I'm like a people pleaser, and I also get really like backed behind a wall when all the attention is on me. I don't like people like looking and attention, and it just like drives me like panic mode. So I was like, how am I gonna de-escalate this real quick? I'm gonna just tell her like, listen, we all need to stop just being mean to each other, and we just need to like move on, kind of thing. And I have never seen someone look at me, actually I have one more time, in like the most evil way. She looked at me and she goes, no, you need to stop. And I was like, and then my other childhood best friend like went up and they almost fought, like legit fought, which is insane. There was fights at my school, but I was never involved or even knew the people that would fight, and it's just, that makes me physically sick. Like, I really don't like that kind of stuff. So I sound like a big baby, but I am a big baby. And so this whole freaking thing went down. Her sister was there and all this stuff, and I was like, okay, well now I'm just known to be that girl of like, I'm her ex-best friend. And throughout the rest of my high school experience, they would legit shove me in the hallway, call me nasty names. It would be like, I turn the corner and I see them all the way at the end of the hallway, and I'm like, oh man. And I'd have to walk through the hallway knowing that they had a clan of them, like basically calling me names like slut and stuff like that. And I was like, I had never done anything at the time with any guy, so it's like, oh, you got me, like, okay, you know. It was just like they had nothing for me, so they just would call me these horrible names. And then she ended up being the class president, continuing to bully us and harass us online, like saying things like they were gonna fight us and putting like posts, just attention grabbing stuff now that I think about it. But at the time it was like, oh my god, you know, I'm getting bullied. I now like almost sympathize with them, because I'm like, she probably felt like she had lost 2 friends. Her world was ending, so what did she do? She went to her older sister, and now she got this sort of attention that she had never gotten before. So I don't know if she was just like on a high horse or what, but she was obliterating us like online and stuff. So we ended up bringing it to the principal, and we had this whole freaking ordeal. It was just a horrible experience. And then towards the end of like my high school, I started getting hope again, because I was like, oh, like I'm leaving and I'm going to college, and you know, I was kind of meeting new people and not, it's almost like when you're down that low, you have nothing really to lose, so you just put yourself out there and you don't really care as much. And I think that's the point I was at senior year, where like before I'd be shy, or like I wouldn't have the confidence to go introduce myself to people, but in senior year I was just like, there's nothing to lose, like I'm leaving, no one really likes me here, like I already had a shitty experience, like I'm just gonna, I don't give a kind of attitude. And I didn't, and that's when I started meeting a lot of people, going out more and getting out of my comfort zone, and not really defining myself based on my high school experience. I was kind of over the drama and over everything, and we both went our separate ways. And I mean, I feel like obviously I have some issues from my experiences in high school, but at the same time, look at my life right now. Like, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I took what happened to me and didn't let that define who I was, and made a better life for myself. And I am living a great, amazing life now. I have people in my life that love me. I still have people in my life from high school. I probably will not be going to any high school reunions, even though my friends like beg me to. I don't know, I just like, I had a really bad experience. I had a lot of bullying and a lot of like ganging up on, and I felt very isolated, but I'm glad it's over. I cannot emphasize this enough. If you're going through something like that, that everything is temporary, and there's gonna be things in your life that is gonna be like way worse than that, way higher than that. You're gonna go through ebbs and flows in life, and you cannot define yourself based on one little aspect of your life. Like, high school literally lasts 4 years of your huge life that you're probably gonna be 100 and something years old. It's gonna be a little speck on the globe where you can look back and understand your mental health and find out ways how you've overcome them, or how you've dealt with certain things in your life, and it's going to help you be able to communicate and connect with other people. Like, like just like what I'm doing right now, if this never happened, I don't think I'd be the way I am. I don't think I would have as much sympathy and empathize with people as much. I don't feel like I would have the need to even talk about mental health, which I feel like I've touched and helped a lot of people, hopefully, from my channel. I say hopefully, but I'm pretty sure, like I know for a fact that I have. I wouldn't be able to share my experiences and stuff. So everything that happens to you, you literally have to use it as like the starting point of your book to, like, this is gonna sound super dramatic and corny, but success. Every success story has a breaking point or a point of like hardship. It's because of that they learn to overcome it or connect or like kind of deeper their life experiences or like human connections, their experience here on earth. So that was my little high school experience. It freaking sucked. Like I didn't like high school at all. So if you are going through that, you're not alone. I promise you that. I really want you guys to write down maybe your high school experiences, and we can all kind of go through it and read and kind of just give hope to people who are going through bullying situations. And like I said, if you want to talk to somebody, that helps tremendously, and BetterHelp can definitely help you with that, so don't forget to check them out. Again, their information will be linked in the description box. They have financial aid too for people who still can't really afford the monthly subscription aspect of it, so there's options down there. So I think it's just so important to talk about this kind of stuff because we're less alone when we talk about it, and I feel like everyone goes through something like this. And just like I have a story, I'm sure the other girls have a story too, and their perspective and their version of the story is probably very different because we all have like these experiences in life that touch us differently. And I feel like now if I were to sit in front of her, we could sit down as adults and talk about what went on, and like I could sympathize and see her side of the story, and she could sympathize and see my side of the story. Hopefully she's grown from her experiences, and I know I have, and I know that I'm mature enough to have that conversation. Do I want to have the conversation? Not really. I don't really care to go back there, but I just know where I'm at in my life, and I know that everyone has a story, you know, and everyone deals with things, and I know that she dealt with things, and I know that from my friendship with them, I know their problems, and I know that they had problems too, and it was probably tough on all of us. So thank you guys for listening to my little story. I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys all in a future video. Bye guys.
Hey Bill, I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a sticker. She picture perfect, so I told him I'm a flicker.